Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on in the house, bring yourself up a ringside seat, get your soda, get your popcorn, get whatever you need, because man, oh man, do we have some stories to tell today, don't we, Frank?
Yeah, we definitely got a story. I mean, I heard TNA and AEW had some crazy stuff going on this past weekend, so I guess we're going to talk about that today, right?
Who?
Oh. So maybe not, but
yeah, I don't know that.
This is today in the TNA episode.
No,
we're not going to run down AEW.
No,
got a big Dynamite coming. What Dynamite?
No,
whatever.
Today we're going to talk about. Are you ready?
Oh, okay.
I said, are you ready?
I thought I was ready, but I mean, that roller coaster this past weekend, my goodness. I don't know if anybody was actually ready for everything we got this weekend. They gave us a plate full and a side.
They gave us a wrestling fan's dream.
Oh, yeah. What a great time to be a wrestling fan. I don't know where I've heard that term said before, but damn, whoever said it must have been the prophetic.
Smart.
Because
they were smart.
Yeah, they just knew this is the best time to be a wrestling fan.
Absolutely.
In at least the last 25 to 40 years.
Absolutely. So today's title of our episode is The Dawning of a New Era.
Yep.
So if you guys don't know by now, we are in what they are officially calling the Paul Levesque era, or the Triple H era,
the McMahon Helmsley era, maybe.
No,
just the second half of that.
Yeah.
I thought we would go get a throwback to 2001, but probably need to pump the brakes on the first part of that.
If we get a Stephanie throwback to 2001, I ain't gonna complain about that.
Well, that was when she had the thing, right?
PG.
Yeah,
PG.
Yeah. Well, okay.
PG.
Right. Well, Jericho talked about it.
Jericho did talk about it.
Yeah. So if you want to know what we're talking about, just scan back to say Jericho Stephanie promo battle 2001,
and there's some trash bag wearing hoes in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, but you'll see a couple of things worth looking at when you go back there. So just check that out in the WWE YouTube archives.
All right, so obviously we went through a lot this weekend. You had SmackDown on Friday, you had the Hall of Fame Friday, WrestleMania Night 1 Saturday, WrestleMania Night 2 Sunday, NXT Stand and Deliver on Saturday, and then
wide variety of interviews and sit downs.
Crazy, and then after it was all done with on Monday, you had Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
So
they cashed in on Monday Night Raw. They brought out surprises. We got new faces. I mean, hell, we're full.
Yeah, but man, what a great time it was to just sit and just take in and digest some great wrestling programming, some great storytelling. And we want to, I know we've kind of beat this all around the bush for all of our other episodes, but we got to wrap this thing up. We got to talk about the main event that happened on night 1 and night 2. So it started out on night 1 with the tag match, Rock, Roman, Cody, and Seth. We basically got what we thought we were going to get as far as a finish.
Yeah, but we didn't get it. I don't think we predicted the way it came.
No, and also we didn't predict how much we had to see Roman and Cody touching in that match.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
Well, I mean, so I don't think we thought the match was going to go 45 minutes, right?
No, we didn't.
There was no way. I remember we were watching, and, when the entrances started, it was like 9:45. And I remember looking saying, wait a minute. 9:45. What time is this shit supposed to end today? And of course we got 15 to 20 minutes worth of entrances, the pageantry, the celebratory entrances we got, the big shots. I think me and you watched it as fuzzy as fuzzy could be, but
yeah, thanks, Peacock.
Yeah, we rewound and got to see it back clearer later. But
obviously, I need to pay more than my $5.
Yeah,
a month.
No kidding. We got to upgrade for next year because the basic package didn't give you the best. But
nope. But man, the Rock's entrance, if nothing else, the Rock's entrance. holy crap, that thing was amazing.
Oh yeah.
That was by far one of probably the greatest, might be the greatest entrance I've ever seen.
It was definitely up there.
That
as far
was
as
really,
well.
really cool.
I'm not to go too far into the match, but that's probably not too far into the recap. But maybe that's why the Undertaker came out and kicked Rock's ass the next night, because
he stole his entrance.
Yeah, he was like stealing all of Taker's thunder. And Taker was like, wait a minute,
yes, that's my spot.
Yeah, so people were all like, what's Rock got to do with Undertaker? Why are they beefing it up? There you go, right there. So that's your first Easter egg right there that we dropped on you that nobody else knows, because The Rock got Undertaker treatment for that entrance. Taker had to get his get back.
Yep. But with the tag match, it was definitely interesting. It was really cool. Some of the spots in there was really cool. The Cody and Rock spot on the announce table.
Yep.
That was really good. The amount that they kind of went in the crowd was really cool.
I think what was really cool about it was no outside interference in the whole match. I mean, they kept it. Now, granted, they had to cover up for, the non-workers and the part-timers and all that. So they had to take it to the crowd. They had to make it, there had to be a lot of hoopla involved in it. But, I mean, they didn't go off the edge with it.
Right.
Kind of because as we had predicted, it was going to happen the next night. So you really can't have, 15 people involved in the tag match, then have another 15 involved in your main event. So, I mean, they kept it about as pure of a tag match as they could, short of they actually tagged at certain points, unlike R-Truth earlier in that night. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
God bless you, R-Truth. God bless you.
Talk about a blessing to the wrestling business. When you're looking for a little let me up, a little comedic relief, man, Truth can give it to you in spades.
Truth got you.
Yeah, he gives it to you in spades.
So the only other thing I want to talk about from the tag match, we need to talk about, well, there's two things from the tag match I want to talk about. First thing first, the belt shot heard around the world. I don't know if y'all didn't hear that shot that The Rock laid in with that weight belt. Oh yeah. But good God, that sounded like a shotgun went off.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Cody took a little punishment on that one there. I mean, what do they say? You got to pay the cost to be the boss.
Yeah.
Well, when you're facing the final boss, you go pay the cost.
Pay a high cost.
Yeah, he paid for it. He earned his stripes that night.
And then the last thing I want to talk about the tag match was how it ended.
Definitely got to talk about
with The Rock pinning Cody Rhodes.
Pinned him clean. I mean,
in the middle of the ring.
No shenanigans.
On the Prime logo.
Paul Heyman holding his leg down while Rock, hooked the tights, another straight up spine buster, rock bottom, people's elbow. Right? 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Well, and now we know, but there's a reason for that. But we're going to go on to what we got as far as the main event night 2, with Cody versus Roman in Bloodline Rules match. And this one went exactly like we thought it was going to go, with it being like a Avengers Endgame total scenario.
Absolutely.
Yeah, total chaos, amazing spots. First off, though, Cody's entrance, amazing.
Yep.
The tattered and torn banners that doesn't look like he's been through war.
Yeah.
The Skeletor mask he came out with. Yeah. That was really
very
cool.
similar to a Triple H mask that we'd seen before, but I digress.
Yep. The big eagles on his shoulders, of the coat that he wore down.
Were they winged eagles?
They were winged. Oh. Yes, they were winged.
That's not a hint to anything.
That's not a hint. No. Nothing.
Just asking.
But anyhow, so we get into the match. We get Roman going against Cody, and they get in there, and little while it's just a straight up match.
Yep.
And straight up rules, and we're going okay, and then all of a sudden Roman brings out the hardware, gets a kendo stick involved.
Yep.
We get some chairs involved. We get some tables involved.
Yep. We touched everything on that one there.
Yep. And then it started unfolding until you got Cody getting ready to hit the crossroads, getting super kicked by Jimmy.
Yep.
Then you got Jay to come out to save him from Jimmy, with them both going off the entrance ramp into tables.
Into a table.
Crazy mess.
Yeah, as we saw on Monday night, Jimmy was really taped up after that. So either he was selling pretty good, or that didn't feel as good as he had hoped.
Yep. And then we got, Cody getting ready to do the crossroads again to be taken out by Solo, with Solo barking orders at Roman, and Roman telling him, I know.
Which is interesting, because normally it's the other way way around where, even when Roman's on his, on his deathbed, he's laying on his back, ready. He's still woofing, telling everybody what to do. But I mean, Roman just looked like he was kind of out of his game at that point. Solo had to tell him, hey, get up. What you doing? We got a plan here.
And then Solo went to go attack Cody, and then all of a sudden the Invisible Man rushed down to the ring. Right?
I mean, somebody was there. I saw Solo flip-flopping and flying, and I'm like, what's going on here? Then all of a sudden, the shirt came off, and I said, oh, John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena, there he is.
There he is. All of a sudden, he removed his cloak of invisibility, and then all of a sudden we recognized him.
John Cena come down to get his revenge on Solo after that beatdown that Solo put on him. Gave a AA to Solo, AA to Roman, I believe it was. And then all of a sudden, here comes the final boss. Here he comes.
Who, even though all that chaos was going on, Rock casually walked his ass. Rock said, y'all will wait on me. Yeah, I ain't got nothing but time.
He's the final boss. He don't have to rush for nobody.
He said, now, like in Double Dragon, the guys had to go to the boss.
That's
the boss
right.
don't come to you.
Boss don't come to you.
You have to keep walking through the game to get to the boss.
So he gets in there and he starts laying his smack down everywhere, and then all of a sudden,
first he got his get back on Cena because he got in there. He got Cena, took him out.
Which was really cool because we got to see a lot of stories go full circle. And can tie back around. You got to see Solo.
That was decades old with Cena and Rock.
You got to see Solo and Cena tie their story up. You got to see The Rock and Cena tie their story up.
Jimmy and Jay furthered their story a little bit.
And then all of a sudden, after he done laid the smackdown to Cena.
Then the glass broke.
No. It once upon a time was the myth that it was going to be the glass breaking. But instead the glass breaking, it was the gong. The lights go out, come back on, and Taker is standing in the ring. Rock doesn't look like he's seen a ghost. The Rock gets choke slammed by Taker. Light goes out. They both disappeared, leaving.
So
nothing.
Taker didn't disappear, right? If you got online, you saw a little video of Taker skedaddling on to the back.
He old man jogged.
Yeah, he's skedaddling. That's skedaddling. That's what skedaddling is. When you get to Undertaker's age and you got them replacement knees, that's skedaddling.
That's another Frank word I got to add to my lexicon. Mollywop, skedaddle.
Undertaker skedaddled on to the back there, and I'm like, how did they let this happen? He should have laid under the ring. I get it though. If I'm Undertaker, I ain't laying under the ring for the next
he didn't
hour.
have both of them knees replaced. He got to take it easy.
Yeah, Taker said, "Hey, they gonna be laying under the ring no more. That ain't happening."
But we finally got it pulled back all the way back down to Cena. I mean, excuse me, not Cena, but Cody and Roman. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Shield's music starts playing.
Yep.
And then because the Shield music is playing, you didn't know really what was happening. We almost thought Dean Ambrose or John Moxley was coming out of the stands. Yeah, who?
Nobody's watching John Moxley. No. So Dean Ambrose. Stick with what we know.
When all in all, it was Seth. Seth came out. Unfortunately, he really didn't get a chance to lay any smackdown of his own. But
he was dragging his leg out there. And his back was falling apart.
I think he was doing everything he could to get in.
Yeah, he was just trying to fill that slot.
Yep. But anyhow, he gets in there and talking about stories tying up. He brought a chair in the ring with him. He wasn't able to use it, but Roman picked the chair up.
Yep.
And Roman was faced with a decision.
Monumental decision it turned out to be.
Do I hit Cody with the chair, or do I finally get my payback and hit Seth back with this chair?
Yep. I ain't even mad at that decision he took.
I ain't mad either.
Out of all the get backs,
that was one he needed to get back.
That was a deserved get back he needed to get. Yeah, absolutely.
So because he took the eye off the ball and he decided to attack Seth, Cody took advantage. Cody got him in the crossroads. 1, 2, 3 crossroads. Went for the pin. And Cody Rhodes finished his story.
He did.
He finished his story. Became the undisputed Universal WWE
undisputed WWE champion.
Yeah, they dropped the Universal, didn't they?
Yeah, because strange thing about that, I heard somebody today. They said they've got a running theory that Roman's gonna pop up on Friday night with the Universal belt and swear he only defended the WWE portion of it. And I swore to all that is holy. If that happens, I'm done. I'm out. I mean, no more podcasts, no more AEW, no more SmackDown. I'll pull it off the YouTube. I'll get rid of everything. I will not watch no more if he pops up with that damn blue belt.
So if you're out there, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good run. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So if we see that belt, I go back to what Rock said on promo 3 weeks ago. F that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, WrestleMania's passed, so we're back to PG.
Yeah, F is the direction you can go.
Exactly. No more crazy language. So yeah, so back to, but F that. If he pops up with that blue belt, now don't get me wrong. If he pops up, great. If he pops up with the People's Championship, I'll be okay with that. But if I see that blue belt, F that.
So he did break his internet silence.
Yeah, I saw that.
He basically posted him. It looks like he's on a treadmill, kind of walking and trying to recover. With it said, "Yesterday we mourned. Today is day one."
Yep.
So you know what? I'm hoping we laid it all on the line right before WrestleMania in that podcast, and I believe I went on record making the statement that Roman could come back as a babyface.
Yeah, he definitely could now.
And I really
Did you hear the pop he got on Raw when Cody mentioned him?
The thank you,
and they
Romans.
immediately booed Roman, but then after Cody endorsed him, then it turned into a thank you, Roman, as the fans realized what Roman's really done for them for the last 3.5 years.
Look, I've been hard on the whole Rock Roman storyline. As a Cody fan, I wanted to see Cody finish his story, but even I've got to admit the groundwork and the historical, I guess, importance that Roman put over in the past 3.5 years, stellar. Just
from where
amazing.
We were. I mean,
amazing.
3.5 years ago when Roman first got crowned the champion, we weren't thinking about doing any kind of podcast because we were at that point contemplating no longer watching wrestling anymore. It had gotten to that point.
And even as a belt collector, and even though they got the new Cody side plates out there, that belt will forever live in my case with the Ulafala around it as the Tribal Chief's belt.
Yeah.
It out of respect, because that man put in some stuff that we've not seen since we were kids.
Definitely not. I mean, who would have ever thought in the modern age of wrestling that there could be a title reign that long and things like that. But, and don't get me wrong, everybody knows as you're listening, I totally predicted Roman to win. I totally thought that was the way it was going to go. But as the weekend unfolded, between the different podcasts, the different talk show interviews, all the different things I saw, I started to realize Roman was pretty much the last piece of Vince's era, Vince's, stronghold on the company. Him and Gunther, who of course Gunther also lost.
Right.
But those were the last two champions that were Vince champions. They were made during Vince's reign. And let's be honest, this WrestleMania was about wiping the slate clean and giving Triple H a fresh start to start his era. And to do that, you have to change the face of the company. The face of the company can't still be associated with Vince.
Right.
So whether you wanted Roman to lose, whether you didn't want him to lose, he had to lose now to give Triple H that fresh start. He had to. And Cody has to be the face of the new brand for Triple H.
But we can't wrap it up there. We have to take this on into Monday night, because even though that story ended, a new one began.
Oh, yeah.
And this one,
long-term storytelling, as The Rock says.
And even though that Seth and Roman got lost in the shuffle in some of this,
which worked because now they're both gone.
They're both gone. But Monday night,
go away for a little while, as Rock would say.
Monday night started the first page of the story that we all eventually figured out. This is actually the story that we wanted to see. And this is between Rock and Cody. Yep. And so it was a 45-minute promo to start off Monday Night Raw.
Commercial free. So I mean, we went commercial free and had one promo and one starter match.
Yep. And that promo went through hills and valleys and awkwards and turns and all kinds of stuff. It was
all over the place. I mean, everybody got a piece of it.
And even Bully went on, busted open. Bully, I give you your flowers for what you said, because I actually think you're true. I think The Rock got shook. I think the crowd got under Rock's skin.
I don't know.
I do. I think there was some things that The Rock was going to say that eventually he couldn't say because the crowd took it a different way. But that's what you get, number one, for a Philly crowd. That's also what you get for a post-WrestleMania crowd.
That was probably 50% Philly fans. Yeah. The rest of them were for all over the area, But they came in the weekend with the intention of booing The Rock. So I don't actually think The Rock expected not to get booed.
Yep.
I don't think he expected it to go on as long as it did. I mean, Rock was swimming in Dom territory.
He was swimming in Dom territory.
So I don't think he expected it to just keep going.
But it seems like that The Rock basically is telling everybody, look, I'm going away for a while. And we all expected that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to be sticking around
giving
as
us
full
4
time.
months. I mean,
Right.
if Rock can pull away from 4 months to give us a schedule, you know how much stuff had to be put on hold for him to walk away for 4 months.
But
there's at least 3 movies that are lined up out there now that got pushed because Rock backed off for 4. I mean, and yeah, it would have been better during the strike. When there was a whole writer strike and nobody could work anyway, it would have been great for them, but that ain't WrestleMania.
So this whole thing kind of happened where he kind of asked to hold Cody's belt, and he said that he looked good wearing that belt, and that when he comes back, he's going to come for him whether he's got the belt or not.
Well,
which I do see both of them fighting over that belt.
Absolutely. So my thinking is, and I heard the busted open thing too. They said, oh, it was so awkward that he wanted the belt and Cody wanted his belt. The idea was that it was awkward because it's just small seed planting. Right?
It's small seed planting, but if those belts,
for it not to be awkward, they would have had to have given you everything. They would have had to explain every reason why they wanted to do it. And that wasn't the point. The point of it was to set that seed for next year's WrestleMania, where Cody defends his WWE Undisputed title versus Rock and the People's Champions title. Because what is Cody really?
He's really the People's Champ.
Exactly. Rock's gone. Rock's not wrestling anymore, regardless of how much we would love him to be in it.
You were on it,
He'll never be in it again. So at this point, Rock is gone. So the People's Champion, the new uncrowned People's Champion, is Cody. How do you crown him? By giving him the People's Championship title.
Right.
Which, again, Rock is a long-term storyteller. So they created that, Friday night at the Hall of Fame. He brought it to the ring Saturday.
Beautiful belt. Beautiful.
Showed it again on Monday.
Yep.
And, and the fact that Cody held that belt while Rock held his belt, all that did was foreshadow what we're going to see at next year's WrestleMania.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The last part of this that we want to get to real quick before we move on and talk about some other things that happened.
Move on.
Yeah.
Did anything else happen this weekend?
Yeah,
I mean, God.
There was some good stuff.
We got 45 minutes worth of interview. We got 3 hours worth of pay-per-view, 1 hour worth of match, 1 hour worth of tag match, 1 hour worth of promo. Well, hell, there's your 3 hours right there. So we're done. We cancel up shop. Oh, sorry. I thought we were done. I'm ready to wrap it up.
So the last part of the Cody Rock promo segment, The Rock reaches in his pocket, pulls out something for Cody. And honestly, first thing I thought he was going to do, I thought he was going to pull out his hand, flip him off. That's what I thought he was going to do. But instead, he asked Cody to hold out his hand, and he gave something to Cody, and he told Cody, don't break my heart again.
Yeah.
So there's speculation over what he gave Cody. It's not meant for us to know right now, which is beautiful. I want to speculate.
I was going to say, I know you got to have a guess. We got to. We at least need to put a guess on record now. So a year from now, we can rewind back.
I've got a couple working theories that what it could have been.
Just give us your top one. We don't have time for a couple. We still got to talk about Damian Priest cashing in money in the bank.
The top one that I think it might be. A bead from the Olafala.
Oh, one of the peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Could be that. Could be Dusty's Hall of Fame ring too.
I guess it could. I don't know where you would get that from. So, All right. So you gave 2, so I got 2.
Okay.
So I'm thinking the watch that Nick Khan and Triple H and
busted up watch.
Yeah, Bruce Pritchard got together. So I don't think it's a busted up watch, right? What they said is they found the exact replica watch of what Dusty gave, pawned to get Cody into the acting business or whatever. What if Rock found the actual watch?
The actual watch.
Whether he found it or not, we'll never know. No. But it makes for damn good TV if Rock says, hey, with my resources and my pool, I could do what them guys couldn't do. I found the watch. And it's the watch because it'll probably have some inscription on it that as soon as Cody would look at, he would know. As Rock said, you don't need to look at it. You know what it is. Hell, you recognize the feeling of a watch. You know what that is. I'm thinking that'll be the angle is where Rock gave him Dusty's actual watch to put, to show he is the final boss, the biggest boss.
Right.
And that's probably my best working theory. Second working theory, to keep even, I would say he gave him a simple key, a simple gold key. You say, why would he give him a key? Rock gave him a key to the kingdom for now because Rock told him, I'll be back. He said, when I come back, I'll be back for you. So I could see Rock saying, hey, this was my kingdom for all this time. I give you the keys to the kingdom now. when I come back, which will probably be around Royal Rumble, when I come back, I'll expect that key back. And then we'll get a long explanation of what it all meant and the symbolism behind it. And Cody will cry again because, my God, that man, his tear ducts got to be like, they got to be aching by this point.
He needs Gatorade so he can keep crying.
Good Lord. Yeah, I mean, he's on dehydration watch now. They're going to have to put an IV in him or something. They got to get that man fluids.
You're thinking we're going to get Cody Rock at Mania next year?
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be God help me as I say this out loud. I think it's going to be another title unification for the People's Championship and the World Championship. Of course, we'll never see the People's Championship again after that moment.
So do you think the moment for Rock Roman has passed us by?
So that's so far down the road now. That's probably like Mania 42.
Okay.
I guess if they
going that route, here's the route.
If they live into the same line of thought of this year, I guess they could do like night 1, night 2 again and have both matches happen, but I don't know if we need to see Rock wrestle twice. So my thinking would be long-term storytelling again. They could put Rock and Roman out to 42 and it would still draw massive money.
Here's the route I'm going. So I know the route you're going. The route I'm going is we're going to get Rock Cody at SummerSlam.
You guys really want to see Rock wrestle at a mid pay-per-view? That's not going to happen.
I think we get Cody Rock at SummerSlam. I think you get Roman trying to help The Rock go over Cody and winds up screwing The Rock over. And then we finally get Rock Roman WrestleMania 41. With Cody moved completely on to a different story altogether.
So let me add. So just to poke holes, so let me add. So then when does Roman ever get his rematch? He never gets a rematch.
Nope.
So you have a 3.5-year title reign. You get 0 rematch. I don't know about that one. There's got to be a rematch.
I don't know that there's a rematch. I don't know how. I just don't know.
And that's the beauty of it. Nobody knows. Right? It's just working theory. So poking holes in things.
I can tell you what I do know.
What's that?
I think the edge name of Ultimate Opportunist needs to get passed on to Damian Priest. That's what I do
absolutely.
know.
I mean, man, you want to talk about turning a whole bunch of shit into a whole bunch of sugar? My God, that man walking out with the world heavyweight title. Here's one thing. It didn't upgrade the relevancy of the title. I'll give you that, because now it's a flip-flop title because it changed hands, 3 times in one night. But we don't know what Damian Priest is going to do. So, I mean, he's got the potential to be...
His first defense is now against Jey Uso.
Yep. But he's got the opportunity to be a great breakout world champion or a transitional champion.
As Drew said he would be.
Exactly. And that's exactly the point. It could go either way. I mean, they gave him the ball. They're going to see what he does with it. He did good with Judgment Day. You got to give him that. But honestly, I don't even think he was the main star at Judgment Day. That's kind of Rhea Ripley, right?
Yep, that's Rhea. So let's
taking a secondhand star and giving him the biggest title on one show. Well, maybe. I guess we'll figure out how that all works out come draft day.
Let's break it down. Let's just kind of take a minute and explain what happened. So Drew beat Seth. Drew held the belt for all of 5 minutes and 40-something seconds.
Yep.
Punk, he went over to talk smack to Punk. Punk took offense. Punk took off his arm brace, laid him out. Damian took advantage, come down, cash it in. And now we have a new world heavyweight champ in Damian Priest. I got to say, the belt don't look bad on him.
No.
But also, I think that belt, and maybe this is the bright side, maybe this is the silver lining to the cloud, being the fact that that belt doesn't have a legacy, it doesn't have a lineage behind it, maybe that belt can turn into something that we just haven't seen or expected yet.
It's wide open right now.
It's wide open. And
that's why I say the thing with Damian Priest is he could either help. And again, like I said, it did the flip-flop over the weekend. It did bring the belt more value.
No,
but
the value that's been added to it so far is you've got guys clamoring over it.
Yeah.
You've got a prior champion who put a year's worth of blood, sweat, and tears into it. Also, Seth, got to give you your props, give you your flowers. Thank you for being that champion in a belt that nobody just could not have wanted. They could have just shit all over that belt.
Yeah.
And got some people that have.
Yeah.
So just being honest, I mean, we've kind of took digs at it, calling it secondary champ because it doesn't have the lineage and things like that. But looking at it with eyes wide open and through a fresh new pair of glasses, so to speak, this belt could turn into one of the greatest championships that they've had just by the people who are fighting to get for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They always say, the belt doesn't make the guy makes the belt, right? So I think in this case, I think it's going to play a little bit of both. So, and that's what I say. That's how the reign of Priest is going to define it. It's either going to be great and it's going to, bump him up to that main event level where you start to look at him as a main eventer and the belt to go with it. Or if he doesn't achieve that status, then he may drag the belt down and then you have to do something drastic with it with the next champion to, reinstate some credibility with it. It's a toss up there.
I think I know where this is going as far as where they're going with the belt.
Okay.
You've got Money in the Bank that's going to happen in July.
Months, isn't it?
Yep, in July. I think you're going to see Drew get into the Money in the Bank, and I think you're going to see Drew get the briefcase. Mm-hmm. I think at Clash at the Castle, since it's going to be in Glasgow, England, or excuse me, Scotland, that's where Drew's going to cash in.
You don't think he'll cash in right when he wins it?
Oh,
I could see him cash in right when he wins. I think it's going to be defended against Punk.
So you think? Well, that's a good point because Drew's thing right now, he's basically a hypocrite, right?
Yeah.
He says that he hates something, but then winds up doing it.
Yeah.
He called Damian out for cashing it in the way that he did. So maybe he does cash it in that way
twice. So it feels like because he has that gripe, it would be his turn to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him walk into Glasgow as champion and defend against Punk. Maybe not walk out. But if Punk's ready to go by the time they get to Clash at the Castle, I wouldn't be surprised to see Drew walk in as champion.
So now, the fact that we've talked about how this belt is lining up, the people that are kind of clamoring for it now, hopefully this thing continues to unfold as beautifully as it's unfolding now.
Yep.
And we no longer look at that belt as a secondary belt.
Yep. Well, the first thing that's going to happen with it is going to have to be the draft. Where it goes in the draft is really going to determine how all of that plays out. If it flips to the other show, like let's say they put Cody on Raw with the world title and put that on SmackDown. History showed that SmackDown's always going to be your workhorse brand, right?
Yep.
So when they move to Netflix, when Raw moves to Netflix and SmackDown moves to USA, I mean, hey, that title's already been all over USA for the last year. Whoever goes over there with it is going to be the standard bearer for that show for a while. So they're going to pick somebody that's going to look good on a promo, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be a thing, one way or the other. Be a good guy, bad guy, however you want to see it. It's got to be somebody that's going to look good in that promo.
And I know you don't like this, but just kind of how Cody said it was going to be, he wants to defend that belt on Raw and SmackDown. So
I don't think that's going to happen.
You never know how it's going to shake out, but we do have the draft coming in a month, or not even a month, a couple of weeks, really.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll just have to see how all that shakes out. Talking about another member of Judgment Day, though, that retained their belt, Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
The match between Rhea and Becky.
What a way to open the event.
Great way to open. My props to Becky for going through with that match, as sick as she was.
Apparently 102 degree temperature with bronchitis.
I mean, that's like Jordan in the flu game.
Yeah.
I mean, she went out there and called a shot. So she, that was a great match. Rhea, mommy's always on top. That's just how it is right now. And my God, does she fit the Triple H era?
Oh yeah,
good.
Definitely a strong personification.
The goth to the heavy metal. I mean,
the rebellion. Let's just call it what it is. Triple H is all about rebellion. Absolutely. He always has been. His career was that way.
Yep.
And she epitomizes rebellion. So, I mean, she fits in it great. That's what, good reason for her to keep her title. No need to change up there because she wasn't a Vince creation. She came through Triple H's NXT.
Yep.
So she's always been a Triple H project anyway. And hey, it's paying off.
The other women's match between Bayley and Io. It started off a little rocky, but good God, did that match get good towards the end.
When it got good, it got great.
Io countering the Bayley's final move there, the way she did, flipping out of it, that was amazing.
Yep.
Bayley, the charisma that she has, a lot of people overlook Bayley. She
was always that fourth member.
She was always the one that really was
drag along because she was the last one to get called up. And it's unfair. I mean, it's unfair criticism. She's contributed so much. She, as far as the women's division goes, she basically carried them through the pandemic. And then on the other side of the pandemic, she was kind of forgotten about. Just again, then she came back with the whole damage control thing, and she was just part of a group. And it's like, as you watched all the other damage control women win titles and make all these crazy changes, Bayley was just there, kind of like a manager. And it's like, well, damn, is she relegated to manager status? But she finally got her come up, and she finally got her flowers.
Yep. And then we saw another championship also change hands. You had Sammy going over
surprise of the weekend.
Yeah, nobody saw that.
Didn't call that one. Didn't see it. So I only got 2 calls wrong on the whole weekend. And damn if this wasn't the first one. Because wow, as it was happening, I couldn't believe it was happening. I'm like, what?
What a match it was, though, and what a finish! If you guys have not seen the finish of that match, go see it.
Definitely.
Sammy put a move on Gunther that has not been pulled out since he was in Ring of Honor as El Generico.
Apparently, he beat Gunther with that move back in the day.
Way back in the day.
I had to, they had to go in the internet. The internet would never loses.
Undefeated.
But yeah, they definitely they showed me that. And I'm like, wait a minute, these two wrestled before, and they got history. Who knew?
In case you don't know what that was, it was a brain buster on the top turnbuckle.
Yeah, it was something
crazy. We both thought in the moment, oh crap, something happened.
Yeah,
something happened.
I was like, oh hell, he done messed up and Gunther's dead.
Yep.
That's all I saw coming out of that. I was like,
Gunther,
oh God.
Gunther, to his credit, the professional that he is, took that move incredibly well. Because I don't know too many people that would have come out of that unscathed.
You ain't never seen him do it before, and you'll never see him do it again.
Yep,
so.
that was a one-off.
Absolutely. That was like we're going to do it in this one match because it's so extreme. And, to get Gunther, the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time, you have to go deep in the toolbox to get something like that to beat him with. And he did.
Yep. The Logan Paul, Randy and Kevin Owens match, that kind of shook out like we thought it was going to.
Yeah. Bigger plans down the road for Logan Paul.
Yeah, and I'm going to go on record as saying this: the kind of letdown match of the whole weekend, unfortunately, was the match we thought was going to be the show stealer.
Yeah, it was
LA Knight, AJ Styles. It got overshadowed.
Right? Yeah, it just kind of happened. I mean, it's not a good position for those guys. They followed good matches. They were on pretty much the wrong night. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff that didn't work in their favor. But I mean, the two guys went out there and they did what they needed to do.
Yep.
But as far as stealing the show, they could have went out there and broke out everything we've never seen before. They weren't stealing this show.
No,
and I think they realized it
and
just said, you know what? Ain't no point in us going out here and killing ourselves to still be a B card match. Let's just go out here and do some work and have a good time and, throw back to TNA days.
Yep. The Jay Jimmy match, we kind of ended how we thought it was going to end.
The match was kind of funky, too.
It was kind of funky, but
you would think out of chemistry, they would have had the most.
I think they were trying to tell a story more than they were have a match. And
maybe,
that kind of made it
those
weird.
Those two don't necessarily have, their story is they were brothers, they broke up.
Yeah.
There ain't no more story to that. Yep. We'll need no more.
Yep.
That's a simple one. You go out there, you want to fight. Two brothers want to fight. I see it. You don't got to work me into nothing else. Just fight.
The Philadelphia street fight match, that was kind of the car crash match we thought it was going to be.
Yep. The biggest blunder in that whole thing was Bubba wearing that tucked in ref shirt. What the hell was he thinking?
Bubba, your gut's too big, brother, but I ain't got no room to talk.
Well, there you go. I mean, you should have worn it before and sent him a picture like, look, this is what it's going to turn out like. Yeah, hell yeah. Then maybe he would have thought it through. Because as soon as he came out there, everybody looked and said, whoa. Jaws dropped all over the thing, and he felt good in it. I'm like, no.
Stick with the camo, brother. Stick with the camo.
The untucked camo, I think even all busted open, they were saying, if he'd have cut the sleeves off or untucked it or stay true to the gimmick. Them glasses ain't helped none. But I mean, he looked like original Bubba Ray Dudley, like 400-pound Bubba Ray Dudley in that outfit.
The 6-pack challenge where they broke up the tag
thank
belts.
God, yes, bless you. Oh my goodness,
thank you, Lord Jesus.
Absolutely, and they got Truth a WrestleMania moment. My
Absolutely.
God.
So you got
talk about deserve.
Awesome Truth winning the Raw belts. A-Town Down Under winning the SmackDown belts.
Nailed that prediction.
You did, and I've got to see now. Please do away with these stupid red and blue belts and give me some new tag belts.
I don't know if we'll get new belts for that. I think we're done with new belts. For after Rock broke that belt out, I think the belt budget is broke. So I think they're out of that. Rock cashed that out. As soon as he got into the front office and he looked at the budgets, he said, "Oh, belt budget, $10,000. Well, let's
Here we go.
I know how to spend that." Triple H is like, "Yeah, I'm planning on getting some tag belts, maybe redesign."
Nope.
Rock said, overruled.
Overruled. This is people's
the
champ
final
belt now.
boss says we're spending all 10 grand on this.
And then, of course, Cody is talking about how he wants to redesign and bring the Winged Eagle design back. But he did go.
Budget, buddy.
He did go on Pat's show, Pat McAfee show, and basically say, "Look, this is not my decision.
Right.
If I had to do it, this is what I would do. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to get it done." But he alluded to right now, Hunter is not.
Now, let's be honest. They got Winged Eagles. It isn't like they don't have them in the warehouse. If they want to do a one-off where he comes out there with it as a one-off, they could always do that. But I think I told you before, the money that they're making off selling these replicas, they're already selling Winged Eagle replicas. They ain't gonna make no more money on that than they're already making.
They're making a killing right now selling those Cody side plates.
Exactly, but the Winged Eagle don't have side plates, so you ain't gonna be able to merge the two. So if you want to keep selling side plates and you want to keep selling $500 belts versus $300 discount belts, you're keeping that undisputed title, and that's what they're gonna roll with.
Yep. So kind of that was WrestleMania in a nutshell. I mean, beautiful event, as has been stated many times, the biggest WrestleMania of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in attendance, but as far as revenue that they brung in. Very, very, very cool WrestleMania to watch.
I got a question to ask you before we break out of this whole WrestleMania talk.
Sure.
The hell we gonna talk about next week? Come on, God.
Well, there's a certain company supposed to be showing a certain footage tonight.
Oh hell! If that's all we got to talk about next week,
we in trouble.
This still may be the last episode, guys. I'm telling you, we may have shot our wad right here on this weekend. This may have been it. If all we got left to talk about come next Friday is what he shows on that video, and I think that's tonight. Oh God!
so if you don't know
WrestleMania, come back. Why did you leave me? No.
If you don't know what we're talking about, TK's got his panties in a wad because he's embarrassed about what Punk had to go on and say on Ariel Hawani's show. What becomes of this? I don't know.
The Bucks are going to show the brawl-in footage.
And if I'm honest with you, as a wrestling fan, I don't care.
No, it's a no-win situation.
If he would put half the effort into writing stories for these wrestlers versus trying to prove himself worthy of being in the conversation of Booker of the Year, but I digress.
Well, he's losing that battle, so
yeah.
I hope that's not what he's doing this for, is to win that, because that ain't happening.
Yep. So, we'll find something to talk about.
All right, thank God. We got a week to figure it out, so we'll dig deep for y'all.
All right, thank you everybody for listening to today's podcast. Go out on our social media platforms, drop us a line, tell us your thoughts on WrestleMania, tell us your thoughts on what's going to happen going forward, what's going to happen with Cody Rock, what's going to happen with Rock Roman, who knows? But just drop us a line, tell us your thoughts, and with that, we thank you everybody for listening today, and we bid you adieu.
And welcome to the new era.
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.